What's good, what's good, what's good? It's your boy Kent. Back at it again with another video. If you new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you here. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick story time about how my job got me arrested. So I've been working this job. Well, first off, I started working this job last year in November 27, I think, to be exact. I think the 27. It was good. It's like a little what they do there. They do like welding. They do like pipe manufacturing. They do like they do a lot of stuff. Basically they do a lot. They do basically like construction, but with like welding and pipes and stuff like that. And they paint and they do a lot of stuff. And it was good in the beginning. I was grateful to get the job. It was because I was looking for a job. It was good in the beginning, and things are going good. Until after you be at a job for a certain amount of time, you tend to see their true colors. In the beginning, they don't show you their true colors. Everybody's all nice and happy, and you're happy to be there because you're happy to get hired, and they're happy to find someone to hire. So everybody's all nice and happy. But after you be there for a few months, you kind of see their true colors and like their true intent and how they really feel about the people that work there. So after a few months of me working and just saving my money because I already had in my mind like, yo, I can't be stuck here. I can't. It's like a dead end job. I can't be stuck here. I can't be here for. No offense, but I have some coworkers who've been there for like 15 plus years and don't really have much. Don't really have much to show for it. No offense to them. They good people. I rock with them, but I'm just saying. No offense, but I'm just saying. And I'm like, I always looked at myself like, dang, I could do better. Like I could do better I want better for myself. I want better for my life. I don't want to be stuck making low wages, long hours for the rest of my life. So I worked my hours, I worked my overtime, I saved as much money as I can, barely went out, barely party like that, if not any. Save as much money as I can. And I ended up buying a car. This same car that I'm in right now. I ended up buying a car, and I ended up getting rid of my other car. And anyway, but yeah, it was good. It was good. It was save up a couple of dollars. It was good. Then things started to take a turn for the worse. Now this company, they contract for other companies also. They do contract work for other companies. So, and I have no problem with that because they contracted me out to another company, and it was no problem. I was there for like 4 months. It was no problem. Then there was another company they contracted me out to after I came back to another company. But this company they contracted me out to was they had certain requirements, certain rules, and they wanted me to they wanted me to like cut my facial hair because I had to be like clean shaven. And I'm like, the previous company I worked at that they contracted me to wasn't no rules. They just wanted me to show up and just do my job. Now this next company they contracted me out to, they wanted me to cut my facial hair, to work inside the facility. And I have no problem with that. That's their rules. That's their facility. They run it. I have no problem with that. But the thing is, I don't work for them. I don't personally work for them. I don't get a paycheck from them. And the company that hired me, they have no problem with my facial hair. They have no problem with my facial hair because you hired me like that. I have an ID picture with face share. You hired me like this. You hired me like this. So they have no problem. Since the company they contract me to won't take me in, they want me to cut my hair. And since I don't want to do that, things start taking a turn for the worse. I know it sounds minuscule and pointless, but that same thing I said. I know it sounds minuscule and pointless, but that same thing I said, but yeah. So they wanted me to cut my hair so I could go work at the other company they contract me to. And since I didn't want to do it, they say I'm disobeying, I'm disobedient, blah blah. They even threatened to fire me. And I'm like, okay, like go ahead. Like at this point, I already saved up so much. I saved up so much money, and I already had plans of like exiting. Like, and plus, when they fire me, they have to pay me a certain amount of money. So I'm like, at this point, I didn't even really care. I didn't even care. I'm like, okay. I told her straight up, like, I'm not cutting my facial hair. I don't have no problem going over there and working. I don't have no problem going to the company you contract me to and work. But they don't want me over there, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem with it. They don't want me over there. So without me doing certain things. So I'm like, I don't work for them. So I'm just not gonna go over there. I'm not gonna go over there. Because I'm not getting paid extra. I'm not getting paid extra or nothing compensated to change my parents to go work for this other company. I barely get paid anything here. So I'm not jumping through hoops, going above and beyond, as I don't really need you. So yeah, so they kind of threatened to fire me. And anyway, they end up letting me go back to work. Because we have like a shop. We have like a home-based shop. And when you're not contracted out to other companies, you're at like a home base company. So I'm at the base. We call it the shop. I'm at the shop, and things going good. Then couple months going by after this first incident, they asked me to go out to that company again. The same company that told me that they're not gonna take me if I don't cut my facial hair. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So they sent me to the company. I went, no problem. When I got to the company, they tell me, hey, you can't come in if you don't cut your facial hair. I said, hey, no problem. I went back to my company, the home base, the shop, and I told them what they told me. They say, hey, I went there like y'all said. They said I can't come in if I don't cut my facial hair. So I don't want to cut my facial hair. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna go. I'm just not gonna go. So they called me after that. They must have got fed up or tired of they must have got fed up or tired of me saying that. Or they must have got fed up or tired of me not going because of that. So they ended up sending me to HR. And I had to talk to HR and explain the situation to them, and they ended up suspending me for a day because management didn't like that I did that. Management didn't like that I disobeyed them. And they threatened to, let me go again. After that, they suspended me for one day. When I came back the next day, they wanted me to sign a paper. Like, they wanted me to sign a paper saying, like, a warning paper, like they warned me, blah, blah, blah. Basically a warning paper to say, hey, you disobeyed us and we warned you, and if you do it again, you're bound for termination. But now if I sign this paper, they don't have to pay me because, hey, they gave me a warning, I disobeyed the warning again, boom, boom. So I'm like, bro, I'm not signing the paper. Do what y'all want to do. If y'all want to let me go, then let me go. But I'm not signing jack squat. I'm not signing nothing. So boom, I went back to the shop. And I went back to my normal duties, helping the Wellas, working in the warehouse, blah, blah, my normal duties. Probably a couple months later, it's probably like November now. It's like November now, November 2024. I'm not gonna lie, the company is draining. I'm working long hours for little pay. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't care. I don't even care if they fire me. I don't want to be here, but I'm just doing my job, showing up, doing my job, and going home. Sometimes I'm not even doing overtime. I'm just doing my regular 8 hours and going home. One day, one week, I just felt like burnt out. And I just was tired of the rat race, tired of the cycle. So one day, it was a Sunday. That Monday, I just like, when I was supposed to get up for work, I just didn't go. I just didn't go Monday. I didn't go Tuesday. And I think I didn't go Wednesday. Wednesday, HR gave me a call and said, they told me, hey, we haven't seen you in a couple of days. Just wondering what's happened. And they asked me if I'm returning. I told her, yeah, I'm returning. It's just, some little personal issues. And I went to HR the next day and I spoke to her, and everything was cool. And I told her I would be returning that following Monday, the next week. So you wouldn't believe, I went to HR on November the 13th. You wouldn't believe, November the 14th, I got into a car accident. Literally the next day, I got into a car accident. And so I talked about it on this channel. So you can see my previous video, and I talked about the car accident. But I didn't explain the situation yet because it was still ongoing. So I didn't explain the situation yet. So I talked about the car situation. Then I end up taking like I end up going to the police, getting a police report. I end up going to the hospital to get checkup. But where I messed up is I didn't let the doctor give me days off. He gave me like a prescription. But like I said, I've never been in this situation before. He gave me like a prescription. Then I took a picture of the prescription he gave me, and I took a picture of the police report, and I sent to HR. But they never responded. I found out later that the documents I sent them was like invalid for me to take days off. But they never told me that. I could have gone back and get the proper documents, but I wasn't aware. Like I said, I'd never been in this situation before. So another week goes by, and first off, I end up fixing the car. I end up finding somebody to help me fix the car, and he ended up scamming me out a couple of dollars. But anyway, that's for another story. A couple $100, that's for another story. But I ended up finding another guy who ended up fixing the car, and in like 2 days, fixing my bumper in like 2 days, and yeah. And I was trying to deal with insurance and stuff like that at the same time, and deal with the person who hit my car and all that. I trying to do like a million things. So once I got the car fixed, I contacted HR and I was like, am I clear to return for work Monday? Am I clear to return for work Monday? She told me, yeah. She told me, yeah, I'm clear to return and blah blah blah. But before I'm able to enter the facility, I gotta speak to HR. So I'm like, okay, then no problem. 'Cause I know, they probably got some questions. So like, no problem. So the next day, I went to HR. And I spoke to one of the top guys in HR, and he told me, I explained to him what happened, blah blah blah. And I told him my situation. I told him about the accident. I told him everything basically. Then he said, well, you abandoned the job, and the company say you abandoned the job, and blah blah blah. And I told him, you know what? I take full responsibility. I completely understand. If you guys don't want me, no more. If you guys want to terminate me, that's completely fine. If you guys want to, keep me on, that's completely fine also. He told me he would talk to upper management. and get back to me. That was December 2nd. That was my last day physically in the facility. December 9th. December 9th. December 9th, I gave him a call back, the HR guy. I gave him a call back and asked him, so what's my employment status? Am I still on, or am I off? You know, I haven't heard back from you. He told me he got to speak to this next HR lady, and you know, he'd get back to me. So I told him, you know, thank you, appreciate it. Just let me know so I know where I stand, where I know my next steps and what I should do. He never got back to me. December 9th. 10 days later, on December 19th, I got picked up by the police. But like 2 days before that, my mother and people in my household, they've been telling me, you know, the police been you know, driving through here frequently, or you know, like circling the block, like they're looking for somebody. And I'm like, shit, I don't know, shit. They ain't fucking looking for me. So December 9th, they came and picked me up. They came to my house. They came with a warrant. They picked me up. When they said the name, they said my name, and I was like, me? Me? First off, I don't even have a criminal record. But I was like, me? I'm like, yeah, like they say they got to search for something, blah, blah. So they started searching my house, throwing everything up and down, inside out, searching for something. They took me down to the station. And I spent my first night. First off, after they couldn't find what they was looking for, they handcuffed me. First time ever in handcuffs. They took me down to the station, and I spent my first time ever in a cell. And my peoples brought me some blankets, some socks, and some food. And when I say that, the cell was, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. It was cold as hell. I couldn't sleep, pacing back and forth. I don't know what's going on. I spent the first night in the cell. The next day, they questioned me, and they told me that somebody broke into the job that I recently was inquiring about my employment. Someone broke into the job and stole something worth upwards of 30 grand, 35 grand, somewhere in that range. And the company gave them my name and my address to look into. To look into. Yes, because since I recently left, that made me a suspect. That made me a suspect. I'm guessing that's in their mind. So they showed me a video. They showed me a video of somebody breaking in. Mind you, this person looked nothing like me. Not the same stature, same body stature, and the person masked up. You don't know if the person black, white, Hispanic, Asian. They can't. The arresting officer can't even tell you if that's me. I can't even tell you if that's me. That's how nobody knows. They just throwing stuff in the air, grabbing at anything. So boom, they interview me, and they eventually let me out on the second day. It was a Saturday. I got arrested on a Thursday, and I came. They let me out on a Saturday morning. And that following Monday, you wouldn't believe. I went back to the police station. Imagine me leaving the police station, then that following Monday going back to the police station. You know why? Because remember I told you I called HR on December 9th. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. They told me somebody broke into my job December 7th. They told me someone broke in December 7th. That's what they told me during the interview. Now, my last day physically there was December 2nd. Then I called about my employment status on December 9th. And someone broke in December 7th. So I went back there. I went back to the police station on the following Monday and told them, and I had a call log of me talking to HR for 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, if my last day physically there was December 2nd, and I'm calling HR about my employment status on December 9th, and somebody broke in December 7th, but I talked to them 2 days later. So you telling me that somebody broke in? You telling me that somebody broke in December 7th, or you're telling me allegedly I broke in December 7th and called the same company December 9th about my employment status? Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense to me. So I'm like, so the arresting officer, he told me, he's a cool guy, by the way. No, nothing against him. Cool, he just doing his job. Nothing against him. He telling me, oh, my job doesn't, because I told him I was going to labor board about this. So he told him my job doesn't know about this. They didn't know I was arrested. They didn't know I spent time in the cell. All they know, they just sent me for questioning. Everything on their cell was on their part. So he told me not to even bother and mention it to the labor board. When he told me that, like a little light bulb went off my head. Like, why wouldn't I mention that? It's a part of it. It's a part of it now. But anyway, I went to labor board and I explained them the whole situation. And they asked me how long I've been there. I told them I've been there a little over a year. They asked me if I took my vacation. I haven't took my vacation, so they owe me, my vacation pay. So I said, all right, then cool. All right, then cool. So they asked me to call HR, and the same guy I called on December 9th about my status employment, I called him and I told him that, hey, so you never got back to me on my status, blah blah. Well, he said, well, you did, we never fired you, abandoned the job. So I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. I abandoned the job. Okay, can I get my papers of termination? And he told me he's gonna talk to this person, blah blah, and he'd get back to me. Never got back to me. And mind you, I called my HR in front of labor board, so they heard everything he was saying. Fast forward a couple of days later, fast forward like a week later, I called the same guy at labor board again, but this time he declined my call. So labor board saw that he declined my call. So when he declined my call, she called like her supervisor or her supervisor, whoever who was above her, and she explained the whole situation to him. Shout out to her, great girl. She explained the whole situation to him. So the supervisor ended up calling my job and explaining to them that, well, he ended up calling my former job and asking them, what's the problem with me, blah, boom. And he asking them about my vacation. If they owe me, they told me, yeah. So labor board told him they would send me down there to pick up my termination paper, my vacation check. Mind you, before labor board called me, they was declining my calls. But now they're picking up, so keep that in mind. They wasn't trying to pay me my money. They didn't think I would go to labor board and get away with the money. They were trying to do wage theft and keep my money because they didn't think I have the knowledge that they owe me any money. They think I would just leave the job and just go about my business. No, not after what you did to me. Now I want everything now. I'm coming for everything now. Before, I didn't care about the money. I just like, I'm done with this job. I'm free. The shackles was off. But now I'm coming for everything now because now I feel like y'all try to do some sneaky stuff behind closed doors. So yeah, I went to my job the next day to collect the paper of termination and a check. And they gave me the termination paper, but she didn't have the check ready because she told me they would have do some calculations and see how much they owe me and blah, blah, blah. So I said, no problem, fine. Mind you, I didn't mention nothing about being arrested, being locked up. Nothing. I didn't mention nothing about that. I just was polite. I just was polite about everything, and so on and so forth. So she told me she would call me. A week went by, they haven't called me. So I ended up calling them yesterday, which is January 15th, yesterday. Today is January 16th. I ended up calling them yesterday and to inquire about like what's going on. They end up I didn't get nobody, but they ended up reaching back out to me the following afternoon and telling me come into the office today. So I went to the office today to pick up, the money. So when I went to pick up the money and sign for the money to say, hey, they gave me this money, this is the correct amount, blah, 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 boom. They tried to make me sign a paper that was like, well, we give you the money, you're no longer at this job, and, we paid you off, but we want you to sign this paper saying you can't go to labor board and put no accusations or anything against us in the future, or put any claims against us in the future, or take us to court or whatever in the future. Like everything is settled, no animosity, no grudges. I'm like, I don't know about that one. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable signing that one because number one, she told me that if I didn't sign the paper, like I wouldn't officially, I was still like officially be an employee and blah blah blah. I'm like, hold on. I haven't been at this job for over a month. How am I an employee? Like, I'm not signing no paper. I just come for the money and just go about my business. I have no plans of putting any, even though what y'all did to me was wrong. And I feel like what y'all did was spiteful, and I feel like y'all framed me and set me up. I'm gonna let God deal with that. I had no plans of making any complaints or whatever. Once the money was correct. So they gave me like a little, I guess want to call it like the pay stub, whatever, like a little stub, and for my money. And I went after I got that, I went to the labor board, told them everything they said, blah blah, and they told me once the money hit my account, it's the correct amount, just put it behind me, blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? Okay, it's a new year, it's a new start. I'm gonna put it behind me. So, yeah. So that's my story. That's my story. My job had me arrested after leaving, and after not even officially being let go, and after not even officially being told that I'm no longer welcome at the job. My job had me arrested, locked up in front of my family, in front of my neighbors, for everyone to see. My job had me arrested, and basically public embarrassment. And I think they did this in a way that they think I wasn't smart enough, or they think I would end up confessing to something I didn't do, and end up being locked up in the long run, which would give them a reason not to pay me because I committed a crime on company grounds. But luckily, I'm such a smart, intelligent guy that they couldn't coerce me into committing a crime, a felony that I haven't done. I'm not going down for something I haven't done. Now, whether someone I'm not disputing someone stole something. Yeah, someone stole something, I'm not disputing that, but you need to go find the guy who did it. The guy who did it is not me. And the timeline is not adding up, because as soon as I leave, as soon as my departure from the company is happening, now I'm getting theft claims. That's not adding up to me. But so that set me like on a mission to for some get back. That felt like, okay, I wasn't coming for no money, I wasn't coming for no claims, I wasn't coming for nothing. But now that y'all did this to me, now The only way to make y'all feel it is I gotta hit your pockets. I gotta hit your pockets. Because that same wage stuff you try to do, you could use that money to fund your next employee. Your next employee you would hire. But no, I need it now. I need it all now. So yeah, long story short, I end up getting the money, and I know they had to pay me that money. I know they hate it. I know they hate it. I know they hate it, and that's good. I know they hate it. But yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I can say the company name. I don't know if I can say the company name. But fuck it, I'm gonna say it anyway. The company is Quality Service Limited. Quality Service Limited. I advise anybody who's worked there could vouch for me and tell you the same stories, nightmare stories about how they F over employees. How they F over employees. Anybody could tell you. Anybody could tell you. So it has a bad rep. How they F over employees, how they don't give raises, how they overwork, how they use, and how they take advantage of employees, how they take advantage of their situations, how they I could go into a whole rant, but I'm not even here to that. I don't want to speak on the bad business practice of them, because that's a whole nother story. I'm just gonna speak on what they did to me. Me going on to what they do on their grounds that I've witnessed, that's a whole different story that it's not even necessary to get into right now. But yeah. So that's what happened. That's what happened. And I feel better now that I don't feel like I got justice, but I feel like I showed them that, okay, I'm not as dumb as you take me for. I showed I'm not as clueless as you take me for. I know my rights. I know boom boom boom. So yeah. Now that this chapter is closed in my life, now I could currently go about my new year, focus on my career and possibly getting on to another job, and just keep life going, and keep prospering. Nothing's holding me back. But yeah, that's my rant. I know it's pretty long. But that's basically the gist of everything. I try to make it as short as possible. That's basically the gist of everything, and yeah, we made it. But yeah, I love y'all. Make sure I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure like, comment, subscribe. Check me out. I have more videos coming soon, and yeah, shame on them. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Make sure check me out. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. And maybe I'll do some more story times in the future, because I kind of like this. Because I got a lot of stories. But this one is just more recent and just more fresh on my mind. So I said, let me get it out while it's still fresh on my mind. So yeah, another chapter in the books. Thank y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Later.